An OnlyFans model called Coconut Kitty, who was accused of pedobaiting with dramatically altered Insta pictures, offs herself after a darkness weighed down on her heart. So, an OnlyFans star who's accused of pedobaiting after she dramatically changed her appearance and concealed her age has taken her own life after darkness weighed down on her heart. Deanna Dietz, who also went by her online persona, Coconut Kitty, I'm guessing the coconut means like boobs or something, committed suicide on February 12th, and her death announced to her 5.4 million fans on Saturday. It remains unclear the camp performer's real age, but Dietz would often say publicly she was 24 and had been doing so since at least 2021, basically meaning she's much older than 24. So the popular worker was an artist and frequently posted pictures with celebrities including Adam Sandler, Austin Butler, and John Savage. And I'm guessing like this is like more of her natural look. I guess mainly probably this one is more of her natural look. Maybe. Interesting. Let's see. This is, I guess, the super altered photos of her that she basically put on her Instagram. I gotta say, like, I mean, it's kind of like weird that, like, like, on these Instagram apps or whatever, like, these chicks just completely fake what they look like. So, D2 is thought to have had a net worth of $450,000, which honestly probably was more, is claimed to have suffered from depression and ongoing battles with mental illness, according to SNBC 13. It's believed Dietz took her own life amid backlash for her work. In a post to her Instagram account, Coconut Kitty Wins, she was described as a light in this world. So last Sunday, Coconut took her own life. The post to her lovers and fans said, "She was so hard headed and strong, but also just so kind. With the biggest heart we have ever known, she was always trying to lift everyone up. Around her, she wanted everyone to win. She always took in animals that needed a home. She was the type of person who would drop everything to help you with your problems and would always be in your corner." The post revealed the woman she was behind closed doors had a laugh that was contagious and talked about how she loved to sing and dance. She was always her true self with her family and friends. Her energy was so pure, and we wished so much that we could have taken some of the darkness that was weighing on her heart. She always felt so deeply with her whole body, mind, and soul. She loved creating, she loved to make art and to express herself, and we know a lot of you loved her too, and she was always so grateful for you all. And the post said that she was a mom, a sister, a daughter, and best friend, and described Dietz as a role model. And this is the thing. Like, the way that I see this type of situation is that money really isn't everything. Like, money doesn't really solve all of your problems, especially depending on how you made that money, right? So, if you made your money in a way where you completely hate yourself because of what you had to do to make that type of money, you're not going to live a happy life. You're not going to be happy with yourself for very long. Right? If you literally hate everything that you had to do to make that money, whether it be a crazy amount of money or not, right? It's not everything. And that's why I'm kind of surprised that more of these individuals who have like scammed people specifically, and I'm talking like people who have scammed people and have been found guilty of like scamming people, like potentially hundreds of millions of dollars, didn't go down this route because wow, you just took people's life savings and completely screwed them over and you still feel good about yourself kind of thing. Like that seems kind of crazy to me. So let's continue. Let's see. Like I mean if this is what she like looks like more of the time instead of the super altered image, I mean, it's not like she's a bad looking girl or anything. So I don't know. It's kind of sad what people are willing to do or willing to resort to try to get attention and to make money. Yeah, see, completely altered there, completely altered there, super altered here. You never truly know what someone is going through. Call them and tell them you love them. You never know how much time you'll have left with the people you love. The post added, "We love you forever, Coconut. Rest easy, beautiful." Dietz appeared to start her popular social media account in 2015, in which she wrote morose stories which spoke to the pain she felt gushing through her veins. "Pain is a blessing in disguise, fuel for growth," she wrote in one of her first posts. "I can feel it gushing through my veins, feeling energized. Just give me a reason to pick up all the pieces and create something new. When I feel pain is when I feel most alive, so thank you for ripping my heart out. Now I have the opportunity to rebuild stronger." So, in an interview with Rolling Stone, the OnlyFans cam girl, well, I mean, is there a difference between like an OnlyFans model or an OnlyFans cam girl? I don't really know if there's like a difference between the two. She was described as someone who was terrified of being recognized in public, who highly valued her family's privacy. Like, this is the weird thing, right? Like, how can you be so afraid of being recognized in public when you create a whole massive social media following where you are basically just exposing everything about you physically, right? There's going to be like a percentage of your followers that are completely obsessed with you. And this is more so for like female social media influencers. They have a higher percentage of their followers basically stalking them. So it's like something that's gonna like bound to happen. So I did get tired of people commenting on my looks when I was camming. She told the outlet in 2021, "It kinda bothered me." An aspiring artist, Dees intended to make a living by selling acrylic paintings but couldn't turn a profit. At that point, I was like, how can I make money off my art? And that's how I decided to do digital art, she said. And that's how I created Coconut Kitty. So, Coconut Kitty is Deet's most popular Instagram account, although she had four other accounts littered across social media. The social media platform started with paintings and stories written by the late OnlyFans star, but quickly turned to a platform for her modeling and subscription base, where she would pose bikini clad or suggestive ways. And here's the thing, right? I actually, like, in a way, I almost feel bad for her in this context, where she was trying to do a more family friendly type of business, whereas more so like selling her paintings based off this article, but kind of like realize like, wait a minute, I'm putting all this effort, all this energy trying to make money in a more legitimate way, but if I were to just pose in a bikini and then have like a link to like an OnlyFans or something or some sort of subscription service, well, what do you know? Now I can actually make a living. Now I'm not just making a living, I'm actually like excelling financially. Like, here's the thing, like, depending on how much someone's like expenses are like a per month basis, it doesn't take much more than like their survival expenses of like basically like their rent or their mortgage, like the basic like necessities, right? After a certain point after that, all this money that comes in excess is just like a crazy amount of cash flow. So let's say that her typical monthly expenses was like about like $3,000 per month before her OnlyFans or whatever took off. And then it took off, and she's like, wait a minute. Now I'm not just living paycheck to paycheck. Now I'm just not barely being able to pay that $3,000 a month. Now I'm bringing in like 30, 40 grand a month. It could be very addictive for people to keep going down that path because one is a lot easier money. a lot less stressful, a lot more time available for you, and you know that money is practically guaranteed because it's recurring, right? So Kate J. Osen, an Instagram creator and anti-porn advocate, accused Dietz of grooming underage young women on social media to join OnlyFans. So the picture started with Dees looking much older than her more recent images, and with the beauty posing with a more natural disposition appearing to have minimal changes to her appearance. This, however, changed around 2019 when pictures of the natural bombshell were manipulated to show a much younger image of the model and creator, donning saucer like eyes, a smattering of freckles, and mermaid length hair. Among the changes, Dietz seldom revealed her age, and when asked, would often say she was 24, but had been saying that age for years. I wanted to make something that looked like a real life anime character, small chin, big eyes. That was made in my likeness because I use a picture of myself and I edit it, Dietz explained to Rolling Stone at the time. I just wanted to create a fantasy, just a character, and I was able to hide my identity and still make money off my art. Coconut Kitty gave me an opportunity to disassociate myself. And after the edits, Dietz amassed a much larger following, but with it a dark twist to what she had thought had been a harmless transition. Dietz was accused of exploiting and grooming minors while receiving a barrage of death threats and launching a conversation about internet minor safety and sex work, the publication reported. People are taking these pictures of me and creating a story they thought would go viral, Dietz said at the time, and they were right, and it did. TikTok creator Becca Day was perusing Reddit's Instagram versus reality forum to find content ideas for her page when she came across the Ohio mom. She provides a look at that is a woman's body and a very young face, and she is baiting slightly, I think, people who want to exploit children. And I think it can be very dangerous, Day told Rolling Stone. For me, it posed the question, does this content bait a certain demographic of people? Day's TikTok amassed more than 3 million views and prompted a wide range of responses, most of them condemning Dietz by accusing her of catfishing pedos. Kate J. Osen, an Instagram creator and anti-porn advocate, accused Dietz of grooming underage young women on social media to join OnlyFans. She cited a tweet posted by Dietz asking models with more than 700,000 followers on Instagram to reach out to her for a business opportunity. She catfishes young girls to think they can be on OnlyFans like her, grooming, she said. Now that's kind of like a big stretch, I'd say. Like, if she basically, if anything, what I think she was probably doing, now I don't know what she was doing because obviously she passed away. She was probably trying to create basically something like an OnlyFans agency where she manages other female models and gets like a percentage of what they earn from, let's say, OnlyFans on a monthly basis, which could be a lot of money. Like, let's say that she takes like 20% of their revenue, right? That they make every month. It could be a crazy amount of money. It could be like 10 grand, 20 grand, 40 grand a month, right? Like, here's the thing, right? Like, if this is what she looks like most of the time kind of thing, she could still probably have been pretty popular just off of that. Dees rejected the claims. I wouldn't do anything in an unsafe environment, and I wouldn't attend myself if I was unsafe, she says. And I wouldn't do that to someone else if it was unsafe for them. The star claimed that her online persona was art, and most of the vitriol from those who criticized her circled around an older woman posing as someone younger. I think why people are so mad is because it looks so real, but what is good art? What is a good realism art piece? It tricks the person looking at it that it looks real, she said. Now here's the thing. There's probably a lot of things out there where it's kind of like almost like deep fake, but not to that extent, but you basically completely alter your appearance to make something a little bit more appealing. Like, For example, let's just say someone were to be like a bodybuilder and they just basically transform their look into looking more so like an action hero, right? Like where every single post of theirs is like heavily edited. Basically, they look like almost like a god, like in like physical form, right? Like crazy muscles, very good looking, all that sort of stuff. Look like a complete badass, right? Is there something wrong with them basically creating this fake account, fake profile of them basically creating this like male godlike like individual, right? I don't think there's really any difference between someone doing that, someone creating like their own like comic book, someone creating their own like anime show or cartoon or whatever. Like, I don't think there's really anything different other than that. Honestly, I have more respect for that than, let's say, someone just purposely slightly altering themselves so that they just look slightly better, right? Like, oh, my stomach doesn't look so good, so I'm going to slightly edit that. Instead, I think what she did was basically go pretty heavy into the edit where it actually looks way more fake than real. Let's see. Social media is destroying people's lives. Probably. Looks like every other woman's selfies. I mean, the thing is, it does, other than the super heavily edited ones. Pretty lady, a good lesson for other young women out there. A career in adult entertainment isn't as glamorous as it appears. Let's see. This person says, I actually followed her on Instagram until she started using filters to make herself look like a teenager. I unfollowed her after that, sad that she thought the better option was to take her own life, especially when she was a mother. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I mean, like to do this when you're like a parent and you basically, in a sense, abandon your kid because you just can't handle things anymore is kind of crazy to me.